What's up, everybody? This is going to be another review for the past week. So every week we do the Sunday Market Blitz, and then we'll do the recap, see how these analyses played out, see how accurate we were. And yeah, so let's get right into it. We're going to start off with DXY, see how DXY played out last week. So originally we had two scenarios here, both bullish and bearish. Obviously, the bullish is with the trend. The blue highlighted trade path is always the closest to playing out. So that's where we're kind of leaning into, right, most of the time. So we saw that we had broken a key level. Nice little rally here on DXY. We're expecting a bit of a pullback and then a continuation. Okay, so short-term bearish, overall long-term bullish. If it broke back below 94.5, we're looking for lower highs below to then consider it bearish again. So let's see how it played out. Okay, very bullish. It actually didn't pull back to form structure, so these fibs are now invalid. We'll have to redraw them and see where our next point of structure could be. But we did rally, continue to rally towards key resistance at 96.3. So the overall bias was right. However, it didn't follow exactly. It just kind of kept pushing. So what's next is maybe this is a double top, looking for the next pullback, next high or low, according to this time frame. So we'll see. Overall bias was good. Direction was right. That's DXY. Let's see how AU did for this past week. So DXY kind of sets the tone. As we know, it makes up for 80% of all trade. If the US dollar is doing something big, a lot of the market is going to kind of react with that, right? So AU, we know it's inversely correlated. So we're going to expect, more bearishness. That was kind of in line with the overall trend anyway. We're bullish on DXY. This is looking more bearish. So that's what we were looking for. We're looking for short opportunities. Ideally, we're looking to catch that next lower high right near this structure point and retesting resistance at 0.74. So let's see how this played out. Okay, if it broke above, we're looking for higher lows. But clearly, this followed almost exact. Could have pushed up a little bit higher, but it did reverse, touched this level, formed a nice lower high, and then continued lower. This was one of my main trades for this past week. If you guys have been following me on Instagram, I've been kind of posting about this quite a bit. This was a great trade. Caught the short opportunity here, played it down towards this level, towards support. Okay, so really good on this trade. Played out almost identical to how the analysis suggested. So we'll have more to say about this Sunday in the Sunday Market Blitz. So let's see how AJ did as well. Shares a lot of the same sentiment with AU. So we were, very bearish, looking for this consolidation to break bearishly, catch that next lower high below 83.25. But if we rejected off the weekly, we wanted to see a higher low just above this lower high here on the 4 hours. So that'd be a nice 4-hour transition, and maybe we could spot some long scenarios towards 85 resistance. So let's see how it played out. Okay, pulled back a little bit. Didn't give us the transition here. This is more or less an attempted break, but we didn't see a confirmed higher low follow through. So this is more or less just a test of this level. And then obviously it shot lower, breaking weekly support at 83.25, gave us that lower high and then dumped from there. So obviously this wasn't as clean of a setup as AU, which is why I didn't take this, but overall it did play out how we were expecting. Sometimes there's just a little more volume that can kind of skew things and not present the cleanest trade. So I often analyze things that are, very correlated, and then I'll pick and choose scenarios as they're, appearing better or more perfect than, another pair. So AU and AJ are a really good example of that. They form similar setups, similar trends. AU presented a better opportunity, so I went with that this past week. All right, so we'll have more to say about this one again on the Sunday Market Blitz. Let's move over to UJ, see how this one played out. Okay, so we were ranging for a little bit. It was very likely that we were going to see the bottom of this range met once again at 113.45, waiting for that to drop. But overall on the daily, we're very bullish. So if we were to consider a long scenario here, we need to see a higher low above 114.15. Okay, so let's see how this played out. Okay, so it pushed much higher, came back down to retest. It looked like it was going to confirm. It really looked very bullish here. Looked like it had good conviction off these 3 candles, but didn't follow through, obviously. Instead, it rejected some nice wicks and then pushed back into the range. So unfortunately, we're still ranging, still neutral overall here on UJ. I'll have more to say about this later on in the other live session. So let's see what's next. EJ. Okay, overall bearish. Very strong 4-hour trend, so it was very likely that it was going to continue with that bearish trend, right? So we're looking for the lower high below 130, continuation lower. Okay, the opposite of this would be this level holds as support. We get a nice reversal and maybe, start targeting higher. But it just seems such a strong bearish trend that, it's really unlikely that we're just going to catch a reversal. We're not really seeing anything. Price action is not really slowing down that much. It is a little bit here. This is finer consolidation compared to this, but it's still very apparently a strong bearish trend. So that's why I had a pretty good, idea that it was going to push lower, break support here. But let's see how it played out. Okay, pushed lower, broke support, consolidated right at 130, and then dropped. So there are good entries in here. Not so much here as this happened very quickly. This candle's too big to enter on, would have skewed your risk reward. So this really would have been your only entry in here. Some lower time frame stuff happening. Good bearish setups on the 1 hour and 30 minutes and then enter short on. And then we would have targeted 128.85. Okay, nice good risk reward there. But essentially we're back within a range. If we look to the left, whoops, let's go back into that. If we look to the left, this is a range that where we've seen price action react quite a bit. So it's going to be interesting to see how this next week goes for EJ. All right, but overall, followed the bias, followed the analysis. Pretty good out of EJ. Let's finish up here on gold. Overall, we're bullish. We're a bit overextended. Really wanted to see a higher low and then a continuation. However, if it did break back below 1825, we were looking for lower highs. And then we were going to either play this range or just see if it was going to, push back lower. Let's see how it played out. Okay, stayed up near this 1875 area, consolidating a little bit. Maybe it's reversing to pull back to form structure. So this week we'll be expecting some reactions out of this confluence area, right? This weekly support, 1825, 38.2 fib levels there. So definitely an area to kind of bring our attention to. So we'll be expecting something out of that. But yeah, that's gold. Overall, pretty good week. I mean, a lot of volume. It made finding trade setups a little bit scarce. You had to be kind of quick on the trigger. Once that volume comes in, guys, it kind of blows your winner opportunity out the window. I mean, so pretty good overall. Decent analysis. We're pretty accurate. But yeah, guys, we're going to put out some new ones this week. So let's see how we do going into this week. Looking pretty good. All right, guys, so that's another review. And I'll see you guys next on the Sunday Market Blitz.